Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back with another video, and today we are going to look at my top 10 figures of 2021 so far. We're halfway through the year. It's crazy to even say that because it feels like the first half year just flew by, but it's been like pretty much all the previous years, an amazing year for figures. We've gotten a ton of awesome stuff, and it was really hard to actually make a list for my top 10 favorite figures. Rules are pretty simple. It's got to be released in 2021 or very late in 2020, where I probably wouldn't have been able to get it until 2021 anyways. And that's about it. I'm not too strict on what I do and do not include. A quick channel update while we're here is you'll probably see a bit less videos coming out. I was putting out a decent amount of videos the past couple months or so. I recently got a new job, and I'm working from home, and my workstation is where I shoot my videos, and it is a pain in the ass to take all my work stuff off the table to make videos. So you won't see as many videos, but I'll try to make videos every once in a while, and this is one I definitely wanted to make. Now, the figures in front of you, none of them are in my top 10, and there's a lot of amazing figures right here in front of the camera. So when there's this many amazing stuff here, you know it was a good year when these things didn't make the cut for me personally, obviously. But yeah, just already a ton of stuff. Gunpla there, like I think Death Scythe, that HG Death Scythe, I just built it a few days ago. I think it's the only new release kit in 2021 I've actually built. I've built other kits, but that's the only new one I built. It's really cool and not really good enough to be in top 10 as it doesn't do anything too crazy, but it's a really cool kit. Black Series Crosshair, that one nearly made it. At the end of the year, you will see multiple top 10 lists. There'll be an overall figure top 10. I will be doing a top 10 Black Series at the end of the year. Crosshair will definitely be on it. I love that figure. It's really good. Behind him, you've got that World of Halo Emil. I really like that figure. It still has some issues, which are basically shared by every figure in the line, but that's really awesome. That was my most wanted figure from the World of Halo that have been released so far. Mezco Wonder Woman, really great figure. My favorite Wonder Woman in the collection so far, which isn't saying much because I don't have very many different ones, but she's really great. But she had a couple issues that kept her off the list. Marvel Legends. Spoiler alert, there are no Marvel Legends on my top 10 list. I'm just trying to ease out of Marvel Legends a fair bit, trying to focus up. But there were still some cool ones I ended up picking up. These aren't all of them, but like Baron Zemo, I basically have completely stopped collecting the realistic MCU figures. But Baron Zemo is one I had to have. He's one of my absolute favorite characters from the MCU stuff, so I had to get him, and he's really good. And then these villain characters, the hand ninja is really cool. You can use them to army build your hands from Marvel. You can just use them as a ninja figure. If you want to, you can even throw him in your G.I. Joe as a different looking Red Ninja Viper. So he's really nice. And I've been wanting a comic book Red Skull for a long time, so really happy with the new one they put out there. And then behind him, Dormammu, the classic Dormammu, I wasn't even going to get because I have the Bath, which I do still like better. I just like that aesthetic better. But the classic one's a really fun, nice figure, really fun figure. So he's really cool. I want to give him a shout out. McFarlane Toys have released a ton of really awesome stuff, although none of it really made my list. There's one thing, but that Mortal Kombat Shao Kahn is really cool. I completely forgot. I got him earlier this year, and I completely forgot he was even released this year. Kingdom Megatron, the Beast Wars Megatron, absolutely amazing. He was going to be on my list, but something else from Transformers released that just very barely beat him out. But he's easily one of the best War for Cybertron trilogy figures they've made so far. I actually recently got the Studio Series Starscream. I was thinking about just skipping it all together, but I'm really happy I didn't. You would think he would be really similar to the Blitzwing figure, but he's actually not. He's like almost a completely different figure, even though they look similar. I actually really like him a lot. That one really surprised me. Unique Toys did do their battle damage version of Optimus Prime. I was actually going to put him on my top 10 list, but I instead will give him a very special honorable mention. He's technically not a new figure. He just has a new paint job with the updated head that came with Dragoon on him. But that is an absolutely killer figure. I am super happy to have that figure. Have such a good version of Knight Optimus, because I actually really like the design for Optimus. Some people might not. I love it. I think it looks awesome, and that figure is amazing. And then to go with him, I got relatively recently got the knockoff of the third-party Unique Toys Dragoon or Last Night Megatron. Again, the Last Night Megatron design is probably my favorite live action movie Megatron design. I think the night look looks absolutely awesome on him. This knockoff was under $100, which is crazy. The paint detail is amazing, articulation's good, cool accessories. He's got a light up fusion cannon, and he has light up eyes, and you can swap between taking the faceplate on and off, which is super cool. Just to give you a quick look at the I turn the light eyes on there. It just looks absolutely amazing. The only thing that kept him from making my list at the end of the day, he was so close to making it, but because he's a knockoff, he does have some loose joints, and it does make doing some poses a bit of a frustration. So he ended up not making the list, but he is awesome. Then some 6 scale stuff. I have the ESB Darth Vader and ESB Boba Fett, both absolutely amazing. Some of my favorites in my entire collection. Technically they were released this year, but I held off on putting them on the list because they technically have existed for a few years already. They're not new figures. The only thing new about them from this year is just the packaging was different. So I felt like it wasn't fair to put them on the list. But again, special honorable mention of those. That Darth Vader is my favorite 6 scale figure. Probably one of my favorite figures in my entire collection. I absolutely love that. And Boba Fett's really great as well. And then the Endgame Captain America Hot Toys. Again, super close to making my list. It's a really amazing figure. Don't get me wrong, absolutely beautiful figure. I love the likeness, the detail, the accessories. Articulation, I will say, could be better. He's a bit limited, especially in the hip, leg area. But it's absolutely amazing. It's just that he didn't make my list because everything else on my list I just would have bought before I would have bought this guy. This guy was very much a nice to have, and I had the money at the time and decided to cave and buy him. But if I never got this figure, I wouldn't be too worried about it, kind of thing. But he's absolutely amazing. One of my favorite Marvel figures in the 6 scale collection, just probably Marvel collection in general. Anyways, I've rambled on enough about honorable mentions, so let's clear the table and start counting down the actual top 10. All right, kicking off the top 10 strong is the Transformers Kingdom Leader Class Galvatron. I've gotten quite a few new Transformers from that were released this year. I will probably do a separate Transformers top 10 video this year because I've actually picked up quite a few. And out of the things that have came out this year, this is probably my favorite. It was super, super close between this and Beast Wars and Megatron. But at the end of the day, I have more of a connection to the Galvatron character. And this figure is everything pretty much I've wanted in a Galvatron figure. Previous releases from Hasbro and whatever haven't really done it for me. That Combiner Wars Voyager, was it? Just hate the way they did the head. The whole mask thing was stupid. And that figure just didn't do it for me. There's an old deluxe that wasn't that good to me. This is what I was looking for in a Galvatron figure to scale with the rest of my Transformers stuff, my Chug stuff. And it's just very, very good. I will say the Leader Class price point is a little tough to swallow with this one. He does come with some extra accessories, being one of them the Matrix on the chain, which is really cool. And he does have those guns. I have them stored on his back. They're all right. He's got the big cannon, which looks great on his arm. You can put it on 2 different spots. He's painted very well, sculpted very well. Proportions are pretty good. He does have an issue with his shoulders. I did do the fix where I took the shoulders apart and flipped the joint around to actually have them the right way, because I got one of the ones that was assembled the wrong way. And if it's assembled the wrong way, it doesn't technically transform correctly and the shoulders are sitting lower. So I did it. I did chew up the shoulders a bit, but he's not broken and I think it looks much better. Articulation's really good. Transformation, surprisingly a bit more complex than I would have expected, but it's not crazy. It's still easy and fun to do. Both modes look great. He is pretty hefty. He does have a weight to him. He definitely isn't the biggest ever. That's kind of the main thing with the price point. I do wish he came with some effect parts to maybe just justify the price point a little more. But for the price point, they were able to get pretty much everything right with this guy, aside from the weird-ass battle damage. But yeah, really like him. We'll see if he survives to the final top 10. And at number 9, we have a Star Wars 3¼ figure, which is really nice to have one of these on the top 10. It is the Vintage Collection Boba Fett figure. We don't get a ton of new releases in the Vintage Collection, but when we do, they're all really good. But I think the biggest standout for this year so far, and maybe till the end of the year, is the new Boba Fett figure. I actually got this guy loose, and I got another one to keep carded. It's just an amazing, amazing figure. I would honestly say it's probably one of Hasbro's very best 3¼ Star Wars figures they have ever done. Articulation is really good. He's even got the ankle pivots and everything. The paint and sculpt detail is great. I think he looks better than the Black Series one, and I really like the new Black Series Deluxe one. That one's really cool, and will definitely be on my top 10 Black Series, but this one I think actually does look better. He has a soft goods cape, which is not oversized and looks good and made of nice material. Comes with the proper blaster, jetpack. He can do all the poses you would want. I love the look of the helmet. They sculpted it very well. It's just an absolutely stunning figure for the price point and at this scale. Next up, we have the McFarlane Toys Kickstarter Classic Spawn, a figure which I actually did a video on this guy, and you had to back the Kickstarter for this to actually get it, and now you can only get it via secondary market means, and he's a lot more expensive than he was, but for backing the Kickstarter for the price I paid, this is an absolutely awesome Spawn figure. I know some people aren't huge fans of the articulation. I think the articulation is perfectly serviceable. He still has a lot of points of articulation that work quite well, and you can do a lot of different poses. Comes with a bunch of accessories. The big ass cape looks really great, and you can pose it a little bit. I love the unmasked head sculpt. The real metal chains are really cool, add that premium effect. The paint and sculpt detail, as per McFarlane, is really great, and it's definitely my favorite Spawn figure in my collection. Overall, I like all the ones I have, but this one's amazing. Would have originally been on my top 10 in 2020, but this guy got delayed for its release because of COVID, and partially McFarlane Toys is also the blame on that as well. But really amazing figure. Would definitely be expecting this to be on my top 10 towards the end of the year. And next up at number 7, we have the Star Wars The Black Series Clone ARC Trooper Echo, which is an absolutely amazing figure. By far, so far, my favorite Black Series figure released this year. Just super awesome. It's awesome to get the ARC Trooper finally made in Black Series 6-inch, because now we will hopefully get many more ARC Troopers, or at least 5s, but hopefully many more ARC Troopers in the Black Series 6-inch. They did a good job. They reused the new clone body and then added new parts to it. Like he's got the decked out gauntlets for the ARC Trooper stuff, and he's got the pauldron and extra chest armor. He's got the handprint painted on there. You got all the blue markings, look great. Comes with all the clone blasters. He comes with the carbine, the pistols, and he comes with the longer rifle, which is super cool. They included all that. Articulation's great. You can remove the rangefinder, you can remove the helmet, and he's got a pretty damn good likeness to Tamora Morrison underneath there with the face printing. So that's really cool. And yeah, definitely. I don't know if he'll stay my favorite Black Series figure this year or not. There are still a few more releases to go before we find that out, but definitely will be high up there on my list at the end of the year. And then at number 6, we have a Mezco 112 collective figure, and it is Dr. Fate. A figure I wasn't initially going to get. He looked really cool when they announced him, but I was like, I don't need to have Mezco Dr. Fate. But then I saw reviews for it, and then I found it somewhere where I could buy it, and I had to get it. And it is an amazing figure. I've only had it for a few months. I've been collecting Mezco for a few years now at this point, and this has quickly become one of my absolute favorite Mezco figures. They absolutely killed it on this figure, and I do believe, I agree with some people who say this is going to be one of the sleeper figures of this year. Super well done. Looks amazing. I love the design. I've always liked the design of Dr. Fate, but love the design they went here. They didn't Mezcoify it too much, which is great. They just did just enough to make him look really cool. He's got a fully wired cape. He's got a wired collar there where the cape comes up. I love the design of the helmet. It comes with a bunch of effect parts from Magic. He comes with the Book of Thoth, which actually has individually made paper pages that have different printing on them, which is crazy cool. Awesome LED light up feature where the chest and the eyes light up really cool. Unhelmeted head, just an empty helmet that you can hold, hand options, great articulation, just overall an excellently solid figure. And like I said, one of my favorite 112 collecting figures, and just in the collection in general. And next up, another recent figure I've gotten. It is the Storm collectible Aries, which I have been excited to get since he was revealed. He was revealed years ago, I think at this point, a few years ago at this point, and then they finally put him up for pre-order last year, and I think I pre-ordered him day one. I've been excited to get him ever since, and I finally have him, and he doesn't disappoint. Aries is one of my favorite characters to play in the first Injustice game, and I just love the design for Aries in that game, and the figure turned out beautifully. He looks amazing. great articulation. They actually implemented a soft goods wired cape, which isn't the best wired cape. I've seen the way they designed and tailored the cape is a bit odd, and I don't love how they did it, but it is still much better than a plastic cape they could have done. Comes with alternate head sculpts, so you can change his expression. Comes with 2 giant weapons. I just got one. He's got the sword. He also comes with a giant axe. And yeah, just a super awesome figure to pose and play around with. And Storm Collectibles, I would say, are some of my favorite figures in my collection to just pose and mess with. They look amazing, and they're also very pose and play friendly, which is awesome. And at number 4, I think we're at now, it is a 6 scale figure, and it is the relatively recently released 3-0 Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. And at the end of the year, when I do my final top 10, I will probably exclude all 6 scale figures from my top 10 and just give them their own special honorable mention. These were amazing 6 scale figures, so I can give other figures a chance on the top 10. But for the halfway waypoint, I'm just going to include some 6 scale stuff. And this Snake Eyes kind of blew me away, especially for the price point. Just around $200 shipped, and that's Canadian, mind you. Absolutely stellar figure. Cheaper than pretty much any Hot Toys I picked up, but just the same amount of quality. The articulation in the body is super solid, very poseable. The outfit is wickedly designed and very nicely done. He comes with a ton of accessories. You have grenades, you have guns, you have swords, combat knife. You can store almost all of it on him. Just an absolutely excellent figure. And if you're a 6 scale collector and also a G.I. Joe fan and collector, I would highly recommend picking this guy up. He is such a value for money here, in my opinion. And at this stage in the game, sometimes it's really hard to justify the prices for a lot of these stuff, but this guy is 100% worth it, without a doubt in my mind. Absolutely excellent figure. And will be one of my favorites of the year, regardless. So good. And at number 3, we have another Mezco 112 collective figure, and he just fell over. But it is the Mezco 112 collective Two-Face, who, again, much like Aries, I have been excited for this figure since he was announced and put up for pre-order. I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered him day 1, maybe, or at least close to day 1. I've been looking for... Two-Face is one of my favorite Batman villains. I've been looking for a really good Two-Face to add to the collection for a long time. And this guy pretty much fits all my check boxes for an awesome Two-Face figure. He looks amazing. The tailoring for the outfit is very well done, especially considering he's wearing a suit at the 112 scale. Sometimes that can be done not very well, but I think Mezco did a pretty good job, and I really like how it's wired, so you can kind of make it look like it's flowing in the air a little bit, which is cool. I love the design. They did go with the more modern look for him with the reddish pink or reddish purplish and the black instead of going for the white and black, which I would have preferred the white and the black, but this still looks really good. Love the head sculpts and the design. Comes with the 3 head sculpts, tons of accessories with guns, blast effects, knives, coins, coin flip effects, a ton of hand options, which include hands that have the coin on it, doing different things with the coin, and the briefcase with the LED light up feature. This is an absolutely excellent figure, and if you are into the 112 collective line, and especially if you're a Two-Face fan, I would highly recommend picking this guy up if you can find him. He's kind of tough to find now, unfortunately. And at number 2, we have 3-0's amazing deluxe scale Soundwave figure from Transformers Bumblebee. Absolutely stunning figure. I have this one, and I have the Optimus from, I think, almost 2 years ago now. But I have the Optimus as well, which is also amazing. This Soundwave is just, these figures that 3-0 do for Transformers are just works of art. They are so amazing. And I would fully expect to see him on number 1 at the list in the end of the year, because my number 1, that is a bit of a spoiler, is a Hot Toys figure. And if I do things how I did last year, Hot Toys figures will not be on the list. So this guy will probably move up to number 1, more than likely, but who knows. But it's an absolutely beautiful figure. Crazy sculpted and painted detail, tons of moving parts, tons of articulation, while still maintaining quite a bit of seamlessness is crazy. Good accessories, got his gun, got hand options. You get Ravage, who is fully articulated and can transform and go into his chest, which is pretty amazing. LED light up feature for the eyes, which looks really good. You can't really tell because he's got a lot of lights on, shining on right now, but it shines very nicely. Just an absolutely amazing figure. Not much else to say. And then at number 1, like I said, it was going to be a Hot Toys figure, and it is the Deluxe Mandalorian, or the Beskar Deluxe Mandalorian from season 1. And yeah, this is just one of my absolute favorite 6 scale figures in my 6 scale collection, just in my collection in general. One of my absolute favorite figures I own. He looks absolutely beautiful, tons of accessories, good articulation. He does have some issues with articulation in terms of the shoulders. The figure utilizes a fat suit to kind of fill out the proportions a bit underneath the clothing, and it gets bunched up a bit in the shoulders. So it can be a bit of a pain to pose his arms a little bit. But he comes with 2 versions of Grogu, one that I'm holding, and he also comes with one in the pram, which I actually have with my Durasteel Mando. Yeah, this is an absolutely stunning piece. One of my favorite things in the collection. Like I said, he probably will not be on the top 10 at the end of the year, and he will instead go to my sort of 6 scale subsection, kind of super honorable mention thing, where I just, because 6 scale figures, they're on another level from most of this other stuff. And I find it's usually unfair to put these Hot Toys figures on the same lists as the standard figures, like, you know, Black Series figures, Transformers, and whatnot. So they'll probably go on their own little honorable mention at the end of the year. But for now, just for simplicity's sake, for the halfway point, this is just where I'm at right now, and he is my number 1 that I've gotten this year. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. The video is long. I apologize for that. I like to ramble, if you haven't noticed already from all my other videos. But thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you stuck around for all of it. I very much appreciate it. Let me know what your favorite figures of the year have been so far. I'd like to know. Yeah, and I don't got much to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.